coming.
Horse-drawn carriage? Sheesh.
Membership start at $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Now get 10% off. Go to LifeLock.com and enter promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS. LifeLock. More detection, more protection.
Shining a light on sexual harassment in the entertainment industry with a new documentary.
Shame, the story of sexual harassment in Hollywood, is a new 8-part documentary series from the Workshop production company, an outgrowth of the escalating sex scandals. The project is said to explore such issues as the casting couch mentality that dates back to the days of the silent films. It will examine its scandals from Tinseltown's first, Fatty Arbuckle, who was charged with first-degree murder, and eventually that was reduced to manslaughter, to modern-day offenders like Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. And it will look at actors, directors, and producers who've routinely used their power to engage in unsolicited abusive behavior. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
Dallas Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott has dropped his appeal with 5 games remaining on a 6-game suspension over alleged domestic violence. Elliott's agents say the decision is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. A mea culpa from 3 UCLA players arrested in China for shoplifting.
After returning to the United States Tuesday evening, LeAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, and Jalen Hill addressed the media Wednesday, apologizing for shoplifting from a Louis Vuitton store outside their team's hotel ahead of the Bruins game against Georgia Tech in Shanghai, China.
I didn't exercise my best judgment, and I was wrong for that. I apologize to my family, my coaches, my teammates.
LeAngelo Ball there, a sentiment echoed by Riley and Hill as well. Now all 3 players suspended indefinitely, awaiting further investigation by UCLA. The freshman also thanking President Donald Trump for intervening and working with Chinese President Xi Jinping to have them all return to the U.S. after briefly serving house arrest following their release on bail. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
A Massachusetts town has removed the word men from the name of its governing body. Brookline now calling its Board of Selectmen the Select Board. The 5-member panel includes 2 women. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
This is meteorologist Joe Murgo with your forecast for WBLF. A mix of clouds and sunshine today, high 47. Rather cloudy with showers tonight, low 38. There still could be a shower or sprinkle early tomorrow. Then it will turn windy and colder with clouds, some sunshine, and scattered flurries. Temperatures will drop into the 30s during the afternoon. From WTAJ, your weather authority, I'm Joe Murgo for News Talk 970 AM and 106.3 FM WBLF.
Local businesses, it's that time of year again. No, not that time of year. Well, it is that time of year, but it's not the time of year I'm talking about. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's time to start planning for the 2018 Central Pennsylvania Bridal Expo, Sunday, January 21st at the Penn Hotel and Conference Center. Your business can be a part of it all. Reserve your booth space now by calling 814-272-1320 and speak with a representative. The Central PA Bridal Expo has been Central Pennsylvania's premier bridal showcase since 1982. Showcase your business to hundreds of brides who are preparing for the wedding of their dreams. Visit our website, bridalexpocentralpa.com for more information, or call 814-272-1320. The 2018 Central Pennsylvania Bridal Expo, Sunday, January 21st at the Penn Hotel and Conference Center. Visit bridalexpocentralpa.com for more information, or call 814-272-1320.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting, as in Smokey Bear. We were about to head home after a bonfire, and Smokey said the fire wasn't actually out. He said if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
No kidding.
I'm a forest ranger. We never kid.
Sorry.
Kidding. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, it's Dana on News Talk 970 WBLF.
They want you to do, you'll get some of your money back. As a result, everybody else pays higher tax rates. Everybody else pays more taxes and higher rates. So our whole theory, just like Ronald Reagan, is let's stop picking winners and losers. Let's get rid of a lot of these discrete loopholes, which are disproportionately enjoyed by very high income people. It's the people who itemize.
Well, really, ultimately, then the whole point would be, let's just make the whole tax system, just do away with it. Golly. I mean, all of it, honestly, like property tax, have everything be based upon consumption tax. So that way, on a graduated level, so that way, no matter what you're doing, you are, even if you're doing something illicit, and even criminals who have to, if they're laundering money and they have to get it back into the system, you're still paying. That's the way to go. Welcome to the show. I'm Dana Lash, at DLash on Twitter, official Dana Lash on Facebook. So Republicans are going forward with their tax bill. It goes back and forth. Now the latest that we have, and we're going to get into the nitty gritty of some of this, is that the latest is that they have the individual mandate. That's the only really the healthcare, the only healthcare thing that they're actually repealing out of everything. So they are going to, the Senate's version, they are going to get the individual mandate out, but that doesn't make it all better. In looking at this, because they said they're gonna include in this, the Senate Republicans anyway, the repeal of that individual mandate. They're gonna include that as part of tax reform. And they said that they want to bring stability legislation. This is something Patty Murray and Lamar Alexander, Republican from Tennessee and Democrat from Washington, have been working on, some sort of bipartisan stability legislation. And they say their argument is that by completely doing away with and repealing the individual mandate as a part of tax reform, it's going to help reduce taxes overall. But the problem is that, and this is one of the things that I've talked about before, is that the penalty is all about, that's like key to how this thing functions. The penalty is all about getting people who are in the least need of healthcare to purchase healthcare. And I'm talking about healthy people, young people, people of, in between the ages of
Hey, friends, right now you're listening to Lions Live on the Forever Lions Network, the only network built with the players through the fans. We're not a podcast, and this program is not pre-recorded. My name's Skip Drivelbiz, along with the Grizz, Jimmy Kennedy. It's his birthday today, folks, so make sure you get out there on Facebook and wish him a happy birthday. And a great time here at Penn State football, talking about our last game here. Jimmy, I can't believe the season's gone by so fast. So thankful for that win here. But a big happy birthday to you, buddy. So glad to be able to wish you that here in front of the whole world. So we're streaming live out there on lionslive.com, folks. And send us some comments and questions on our Facebook page. But Jimmy, man, today is your day. So I can understand if you took the day off, but you're in here to talk football with everybody. So I almost did. I just told the missus, I was like, man, you know what? Got to call Skip and tell him that I'm going to be on. She was like, we're not going out for dinner? I was like, so we'll be all right. A little bit delayed heading out for dinner tonight, huh? Her response was, yeah. Fastest hour in college football, whatever. Hey, it's only a few weeks of the year, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's cool, man. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Been relaxing all day. Went to breakfast with the wife. Other than that, still making sure I take care of these legs and make sure I get my health and stuff great. Taken care of, but it's a blessing to see another year. I'm happy, and I'm thankful, man. Give God all the glory when it comes to me being able to wake up and experience the things that I experienced, be around good people such as yourself. I'm just extremely thankful, and I appreciate the birthday wishes. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm so glad to be able to wish it to you here, and I tell you, man, been uplifting you, hoping that things are going well here medically for you. Things looking pretty good? Overall, you know what it is. I just came back from the doctors, and they was just saying that I just had a lot of things going on at once. So what happened was, it was like one thing led to another. I didn't know my heart was in AFib, and it was in AFib for, at least like 4 months. And then I ended up having a stroke. Then that ended up turning into me having about 16 blood clots, and I had to get on blood thinners. Then they resetted my heart for about four times to get it out of AFib. But because I was in AFib so long,
it ended up all continuing to fall back into the AFib. So we did that about 4 times, and I kept complaining about, like my left foot is numb. So then when I had the stroke because of my height and so on, and my heart being weak, the blood wasn't pumping down to my legs and my feet. So then I had to do ablations on my main veins in my legs, then sclerotherapy and all types of stuff. Then it was like, oh, well, hopefully this will help with your feeling in your foot. When we did this, it ended up going down. When they injected me, it ended up going like right along where a nerve is. So that made my feeling in my leg on my left side worse than what it was. And, it was just one thing led to another. Then it was like, all right, figuring everything out. Then I kept getting swollen and blood wasn't going back up and so on. So I only found out that I have lymphedema or something like that. So special pumps, machines, and different stuff just to take care of myself. So
wow,
it's just it's been, I gave you the long version, but it's just been like stuff after stuff after stuff that started as one thing, and now it's just like treating every different thing and so on. So while treating my legs, I still got to make sure I keep my heart pumping in, normal status. So just a bunch of stuff that I was just staying on top of.
Well, as long as you're monitoring things and, they're on top of it, Jimmy, just trusting for, good healing to come your way, man. Good healing to come your way.
Definitely.
That's great. Well, we'll keep you uplifted there. Trust the Lord to bring healing your way and still to give you a good birthday. Is that Yakov or is that the big dude?
Hey, it's
Yakov. All right.
How we doing?
Well, today's Jimmy's birthday, right?
Oh, I did not know that, Grizz. I did not know that. I was all racing all over the day, but happy birthday, Grizz.
I appreciate it. I mean, my gift was me being in second place this week, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you've been watching the scores.
Wow. So that means your birthday always during the season then. Always.
I'm not even used to celebrating.
Yeah, see, mine was during camp. Mine was in August. Mine was during camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Always at work.
Yeah, you know what that is. You used to get probably, you might have used to got, I don't know if she was so big. I don't know if they ever tried to hit you on your birthday or not. The team.
Nah.
No hazing.
To get me though.
When you were playing ball, it just come and go.
Those days blur into one another.
Going out there, just scrimmaging or something, playing a game. So.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jimmy, you picked up on that. You are in second place now. You picked well.
Yeah.
He's been following. He's been watching. So
who's in first place?
Oh, the big dude. Yeah, he's in there.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
You knew that.
I blew it bad last week, man. I mean, I was 4-3, so I tried to pick some upsets. I was figuring Michigan State could have beat Ohio State. At least I was hoping to that end, but that didn't happen. And again,
wasn't close.
No, it wasn't. And I was disappointed. I thought Purdue would beat Northwestern, and that certainly didn't happen. And I thought Iowa would pull off an upset with Wisconsin because Iowa kicked the crap out of Ohio State, So I figured, hey, that'd be time for them to have big an upset there. But I was counting on some upsets last week. It just didn't happen. So that killed me. My 3.
No, those are some good picks, though, Skip. Those are some good picks, though, I think.
Yeah, I gambled a little bit. I went against the odds, but I thought it could happen, because Iowa's just been playing some good ball, but it didn't happen. Wisconsin is too.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah. So many upsets didn't happen this season already. I mean,
it's been a crazy season like that. Let's look at this here. We beat Iowa. Iowa destroys Ohio State. It's like the Big Ten's all schizophrenic on us. We can't. There's no consistency. You can't figure out who's going to be doing what any given week. What team's going to show. What team's going to show up, which kind of leads us into this past weekend here. I was there with the big dude and Peter Kirkland on the sidelines, and here we're there. We just get there in time for kickoff, and we got a story why we got delayed there. We'll share that later, but there's the kickoff, right? And I'm thinking, okay, are we going to field the ball? are we going to field the ball? And then, they blew it dead. And I thought, okay, well, we got it, No, we didn't. We didn't field the ball, man. There's all of a sudden Rutgers has first down. And I'm like, what happened? You know how it is at kickoff at practice. Somebody's going to be saying you, or me. We didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
You didn't hear none of that. And wow, those basics.
Well, that's how we started both halves, right? That's how both teams started both halves.
Yeah, it's like we couldn't figure out what happened. And but we started off slow. We thankfully we came through a nice win. We just it's one of those crazy starts to a game.
Yeah, that's interesting still because we did that against USC. It wasn't like the special teams, but it was the first play of the game that solely through an interception. So it's interesting how that has happened to us. It's just interesting how it's just such a fast pace. Game that we're playing right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it's quite the game. What do you think about it? By the way, where were you? I didn't see you on the sidelines.
Oh. Yeah, I ended up going to the game, and then I ended up going to a buddy of mine. Gilmore.
Oh yeah, Derek. Yeah, I know Derek.
Yeah, Gilmore.
I didn't see him though either. Well, I was there for the first half, and we were up in the lounge. I didn't see Gilly though. So Gilly flew back in from down Atlanta.
Yeah, Florida.
I thought he was down in Atlanta. Maybe.
Well, you talking about John Gilmore?
Oh no! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about Derek Gilmore. I'm sorry. Generation or two, a couple decades off. I'm sorry. Same last name. Same last name. Yeah. Okay.
One of his buddies, one of his friends from high school. His family, they live in State College.
Oh, okay.
Over by Toff Trees area.
Sure.
I ended up going over there and watching some of the game with them because he's getting ready to move to Florida. His
really?
buddy. So.
Oh wow! Now, why would he want to leave State College and head down there?
Well, I don't know.
Where are you heading down to Tampa?
Nah, it's near I think it might be near Jacksonville area, maybe.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was a few hours away, I think, but from Tampa, I think. So,
okay.
It was actually 2 locations. He said it could be 2 because he has a brother down there.
Yeah.
And then it might be another family member. So he was going to stay at one of the 2, and one was closer and one was further away. So,
okay.
Well, I hope he doesn't give up his place here in State College. There, Toff Tree's a nice area, so hopefully he's gonna keep. Is he gonna keep?
Well, yeah. Now that's his parents' place.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, his parents. So he was staying with his parents.
Gotcha.
And he used to live in New York. So yeah.
Well, good for him. He's got a gig going down there in the Sunshine State. So good for him, man.
Yeah.
He'll be back here for home games.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back for tons of games.
Oh yeah,
That'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Now another thing though, we was talking about the game. I was going to mention. I feel like couple interesting points from Franklin is that because people are still questioning him about the run game, and it's like a couple weeks in a row, people have questioned him about it, and he's had to answer it for the past weeks in a row, and he was saying this time that they are still developing. The offense is still developing, and like there's pieces of it that's very much developed. And he's like, even though we had trouble with our run game, we still are averaging like 20-something points, I guess you said. It was almost like 30 points a game. You know, so it's like we're still scoring points, but, you know, at the same time, we're still developing our offense. So, you know, so I just thought that was an interesting point, you know, is that, you know, it is something that we're struggling with. And, you know, it's just, you know, everybody's trying to figure out what it is or you know. So, I mean, what do you guys see as far as the run game? Like, what do you guys see?
For me, like I said before, I would like to say, I mean, it's kind of hard because, like I said, I just think, I think we're playing good ball. Obviously, I mean, this last game was a decent game, but overall, I think teams have figured us out. Usually, with ball, at least how I approach life. I approach life with, for every action is a reaction. You know, so that, you know, that's whether you arguing with your wife, whether you at work, or whether you know, doing football or whatever, whether you playing a game or so on. You have to react off of what the opposing person do, or you have to, you know, you have to show some kind of action. So I always feel that, like I said, I think Penn State is just predictable right now. I know last week, and I hope some of the guys are listening so on, because I know last week before the game I said, like, Jawan Johnson, I know that, you know, he's going to get a big drop when we need it, and so on. Of course, he had that big drop, but he also made some big-time plays. So kudos to him and so on, because, you know, we still have a young squad. A lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that were tweeting and saying that they actually believe that Penn State will be better next year when Barkley's not there, because then it'll force other players around them to develop and so on. Me personally, I would love to see him back for, you know, his last year and so on, you know, to make a national championship run. I believe if these younger players and so on that we have around them continue to build confidence and so on, and next year we have more weapons, I believe that we can do it. You know, but obviously I've been in his situation, you know, Barkley's situation, when it comes to making a decision on returning for your senior year or not. I would like to see them just become not necessarily. I like to, because I'm not going to shoot our offense down, because I know we're able to put points up. But, you know, like I don't like the throwback hitch thing, whatever, when we tossed it to, you know, Deshaun Hamilton, and he pitched it back to Barkley, and, you know, Saquon went running and jumped and tried to get into the end zone and so on. I thought it was a great play. I just don't like the fact that we have to do those things in order to get on the board versus such a weaker opponent. Like, you know, so that was what I was saying earlier in the year, like when I said I picked Alabama to win the national championship. As much as I wanted to pick Penn State to win the national championship, I just had to go with Alabama because I like the fact that they could line up and just run the ball, and I don't think Penn State is there yet. You know, like this. I mean, I'm not knocking, you know, the last week's opponent and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna bash them like that. But like I said, I just don't like we have to pull out gimmicks and trick plays in order to get on the board. You know, because I understand that everyone's focused on Saquon and so on. I understand that he's a distraction and so on. I understand that, you know, like I said back then, Coach Paterno used to tell me before I understood, because when you're in the fire as a young player, you don't realize certain things. Like Coach Paterno used to always tell me, I need a tired Jimmy Kennedy on the field, you know, versus a healthy a backup player, you know, who's not as, you know, who's not tired, because I'm going to get the double teams, the triple teams, and so on. I changed blocking schemes. Well, guess what? You get Saquon out there. If Saquon's not out there, they know that, okay, well, they're not running the ball. So then now they actually become a little bit better. They can drop back pass. they might get a little bit of pressure because right now it's like, all right, Saquon's not there. That means McSorley's the guy. Let's go get him, you know? And then if that's not the case, because the backup guys, I mean, we have a couple of guys that's behind Saquon that's, you know, that has made a name for themselves, but they're not proven completely yet, but we know what they're capable of and so on. They show signs and show flashes, but it's like we could never get a chance to establish a life without Saquon, you know, because he's always out there and he's that big of a distraction. So whether he's in the backfield motioning out to the slot or motioning out to receiver or whatever the case may be and so on, or taking the, you know, the handoff or so on, I don't believe that the focus was, all right, let's win them the Heisman or anything like that. But it's like trick plays all the time. Like all the time right now. So where it's like, I get nervous about picking up. I mean, I know we have lesser opponents still to some point because I know the talent and the talent that we're capable of playing with. You know, I understand what we could come out there and do if we're successful. But you know, at one point early in the game, it was still close, and we was like, "Oh, come on, Penn State's gonna, you know, mess this up." You know, until a couple of plays happened. So, you know, I would like to see, and I know it's late in the year and so on, but and don't get me wrong, I bleed blue and white. But you guys know that right now, going into a bowl game and everything else and so on, I don't know. It's not even about which Penn State team is going to show up, because Penn State is showing up. It's just we're making other teams' defenses look amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Yeah.
You know, and what happens is, it's not until what happens is our defense is stepping up. So what's happening is our defense is stepping up. Our offense is putting up 30, 40 points a game, or 20, high 20s or so on, early 30s a game. But if we go back and look at every touchdown that we score, with exception to the Iowa game, that last-second touchdown, when we threw that and we forced it down their throat, you know what I'm saying? We moved the ball and we forced it down their throat. Everything else is like a gimmick or a breakaway or a big-time play.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jimmy. That's a good point. You know, the thing that frustrates me is I don't see us running between the tackles. I mean, we got a great running back, okay? Why are we always sweeping him out, man? I mean, we know he's got speed, but, man, let's make a hole for him up, where he doesn't have to run left to right as much, but straight. You know, I'd like to see that happen. And I'd like to see us also, when we get in short yardage, we haven't hardly ever had McSorley under center. It's always a shotgun snap. And I'm thinking, you know, here we are. You get up to the 1-2 yard line, and you're going to back a guy 5 yards off the ball to snap the ball to him so you can hand it off to somebody to run up.
Yep. No, that's. I think I wanted to jump on that, piggyback on that. Like, you know, a lot of times too, teams will run this type of an offense, you know, and it will succeed in their league, or it will succeed in their division, or whatever they're in. And then they, you know, will bring it to the Big Ten, and normally it hasn't been tested to the same extent, you know. And a lot of times it gets to the Big Ten and it gets tested, and then it's, you know, then it's like, whoa, like, wow, we didn't realize that the run game was so important, you know. Like in our league, you know, we didn't really need it, and you know, we were lighting the score up, but now we're like, wow, we realize that we just can't just, you know, we need more, you know. So I just feel like, you know, and I was going to mention too, with Coach Franklin, I liked how he handled that, because he didn't make it seem, he didn't put it on the players. He was making it more so as, you know, we are developing our offense. You know, and it wasn't, you know, that it's the players or anything. You know, I felt like, you know, he took the blame, and I felt like that's something Joe probably would have done as well.
Well, I don't think there's a blame to place upon anything. I think, you know, this is a game and a team and a coach who's, you know, ever adapting and changing as needed. And I give Coach Franklin credit for taking the talent he has and making the most of that at any position he has. So I think he has that together. I'm just expressing my personal wishes because I love getting, I love the ball control offense when you can get 4, 5, 6 yards on a run every time. Yeah, I don't need to pass it. And if you're going to put 7 guys up there, okay, now I'm going to pass it and I'm going to burn you, And I mean, that's what I miss that type. I like that type of football. And I think that's kind of what Alabama's success has been about over the years, and teams that can effectively run the ball between the tackles. And hey, I love the idea of the option. Okay, well, McSorley got some wheels, right? So let's put him under center, and then let's get some other guys in the backfield, and let's see how the dive works. Let's let McSorley run down the line there, and then he got, Saquon. You can option it out to, or he can keep it. Let's run some option offense here and make these teams have to change it around, mix it up. I'd like to see a little bit more diversity. I'm just expressing my own likes and dislikes. You got to throw a team way off. Penn State shows up, all of a sudden McSorley's under center, and you got 3 other guys in the backfield with Saquon, in a power I or in some type of option formation, and we run an option. They're gonna be like, we aren't ready for this, and we're gonna kill them, or you line up like that. And all of a sudden, you run like that flex bone, and you look like you're running, and then all of a sudden McSorley pops up and boom, hits a guy, hits the tight end or somebody like that. I mean, I'd like to see us mix it up a little bit, because right now I think we're pretty predictable, and that leads to some trouble, because I'm not saying that we can't come through that, but once a team gets your number, it's like we have to wait till halftime to get in there to make the adjustments. Yeah. And I don't want to see that happen. I see us right out of the gate. Let's mix it all up and confuse these guys. And I don't mind a gimmick play here and there, but we need to, I think, develop some consistency trying to run between the tackles and let Saquon do that, which kind of leads to the question now, guys, because he has 2 games left in his Penn State career potentially. I know, Jimmy, you said you'd like to see him stay. What are you thinking, Yakov?
I mean, I just feel like it's I think he's just got to weigh it out. I think he's got to weigh out if he's going to be a better value. And I know the Grizz, I like to hear his thought too, because I like, I feel like he's got to decide his value, versus, this year or versus next year, and then just weigh out, the risk, I guess, maybe, and see, how it, adds up. And I guess even his degree, he's going to have to weigh that out, unless he's already got it. I don't know. But, I guess just weigh him out. I'm not sure. I would think, if he gets the opportunity to go and everything's a go, take it. But, I guess if he feels like it's going to go up higher than it is now, I don't know. But I don't know how much significantly higher it will go up. So, so I would think he would go as it just seemed like, he's just going to go. So.
Right now, I didn't mean to jump topics too much here, because I know I commented about offense there, and I didn't want to shut that all down there. I just that thought came to mind, and Jimmy spoke about it, so I wanted to make sure you got your comment on it too.
Yeah, no. I think for me, what it comes down to is, how do I explain it? If I had to do it over again, I probably would have left in that return for my senior year of school. But like Jacob said, I already had my degree. I actually probably would have been a late first rounder, early second rounder if I would have came out early. But what happens is, and the reason why I probably would have done it over was the pressure that comes with being a first rounder. Yeah, it's great. You can deal with it. We're built to deal with it, being Penn Staters and stuff. But what happens is, like we already talked about before, we spoke on the team that you go to. Like, being winning the Super Bowl with the Giants and stuff, I look at their record now, and I'm like, man, hold up, it's a chance right now that if Saquon come out, he can end up with the Giants, and I get a little happy, more because him being originally from New York, going to Pennsylvania, then having success out there, did have a chance to return back to New York to a point, New Jersey area and so on, to play for the Giants. Giants having a down year, the defense is already in place. Just imagine, like I said, you can get Odell Beckham coming back. Ingram is making a name for himself. I'm not sure if Brandon Marshall will come back or so on, or what his impact will be. But Sterling Shepard, and you start thinking about stuff, and it's like, hold up, the lines are gel together, and you got a Saquon Barkley in the backfield, catching screens out the backfield and everything else, so on, and running Eli and so on.
Yeah.
You might can get you a solid Super Bowl within 5 years, within 4 years or so.
Sure.
So I think about that, but then I also think about, what if he goes to Cleveland? And it's not that, because I like Cleveland. I mean, I would have loved to play for Cleveland. Yeah. But it's like you look at it, because I still have that Penn State in me that's like, oh, I can go out there and change that.
Well, until you play Pittsburgh.
Huh?
Until you play Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, but you still have that competitive nature. Like, all right, if I go to Cleveland, yeah, I can help. I could be the man out there. I can help us. I can put Cleveland on the map. Cleveland has been known for having some great defenses and so on in the past and so on. But you don't think championship, and you don't think longevity and so on. It goes back to what I said before. Like in my situation, when I came out, I went to the Rams. I was excited because I was a fastest team on turf and everything else and so on. But when I stopped it, I was actually a part of the organization. I was like, hold up, they're not known for defense, and they're not a defensive squad. Like you go back from back in the day, they was with young blood and all those guys, but they've always been offensive squad for the most part, going back to Eden Dickerson and those guys and so on. They've always been known for offense. You really don't have standout defensive players like that and so on. So I would like for him to, like Yaakov said, weigh his options. But for me, what helped me out was, I was like, I've been poor this long, and these college athletes are in way better positions than we were when we was in school, Yaakov. They have it better, because they get some kind of stipend or something like that. It was like, I was happy to get, $12 from Top Tree's money or something like that. It was like, oh, this $12 for the last 2 weeks. So okay. I was excited about that stuff, so now I know they get, a small percentage and so on, or whatever it is, however they pay the players or so on, this time.
It's meal money. It's meal money. Hey, folks out there, nobody was ever paid. Okay, it's meal money. It's when you miss the training table. All right, they give you some money so you can maybe get down to McDonald's or something, get something on your own. It ain't big money, folks. Okay, just rest assured. Yeah. So what Jimmy's talking about there is meal money. As players, we'd have a training table. We go there, every day. One meal a day, you can get, your training table, and that's there. The purpose of that training table is to beef you up. All right, it's to get you the high protein and the carbs and everything you need to build that machine of a player. And when you can't do that on the weekends of home games or away games, they give you a stipend to try to let you get out and get something on your own. That's all that is, folks.
Yeah. So thank you for clarifying that. It's not like
people get paid. They're like, no, we ain't getting paid, man.
But I mean that's I appreciate you, because like you said, after we play a game on Saturday afternoon, like what do? We don't run over to training table to eat or nothing like that. Right. They give us, like you said, $12, $15 or whatever, and then we go grab a sandwich or whatever the case may be or so on after the game or so on.
Right.
Most of us usually have our peoples in town, but for those who don't, if our family and stuff is in town, you keep your $15 and you eat with your family.
Right, exactly. Well, it'd be like that.
But it's not.
Exactly. It'd be the same. Same with the bowl games. You go to a bowl game, you get that check. You're like, yeah, but you realize, it's not spending money. It's money to cover for your food. So it's a lot different. But I liked it, though. It was good.
And all that, yeah.
Because, when you're young, folks, we still learn how to eat cheap. Okay, we can know what it is to go to McDonald's, because you get that and you're like, oh man, I can go there and get a couple burgers. You eat for on a $1 menu, you get enough grub on you to last you a while, and have a little extra change, but it's yours to spend however you want. So, it was always good.
Now, so from my position, Skip, I just want to make sure. I hope you just make sure, I hear a lot of great things about him. Obviously, I've met him a few times and so on, but I just he's a humble kid, and I think right now that I would like for him, because there's more things you can learn. Think about this. These last few losses, and even in this game, I want him to find a way to dominate the game still. He's still missing that part, and it's just like you said, like smart decisions and so on. Between these last 3 or 4 games, I'm so tired of seeing Saquon get tackles for losses. You know what I'm saying? And he gives up more. And it's not just because of him. It's play calling and, different stuff, line blocking and everything else and so on. Like I said, we're predictable to a point and everything else. He's a freak athlete and so on. So it's like I would like to see him come back just from experience-wise. Because when I watch the offensive line, when I watch the defensive line, these guys is just raw and going out there and playing. Technique-wise, especially from the stuff that I learned from Coach Johnson, the stuff that I learned from my high school coach, and the stuff that I learned from Carl Dunbar when I was in the NFL, who was the D-line coach in Alabama. Just the stuff that I've learned from those guys, when I look, I'm just like, oh, my God, I just have to make sure that I show these Penn Staters. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So we're judging these young players and so on for how they're playing, and they're still not playing with no technique.
It's just raw talent. Raw talent.
It's just raw talent.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch these guys rush the passer, there's no technique at all. There's no hand movement. There's no. You haven't seen a guy beat a guy with just a long arm or so on. You see a guy beat a guy with speed, it might get a good slap of the hand or something like that. It's not intentional. It's just speed and just being a better athlete.
Right.
That's how we get our sacks.
Sure.
It plays better athletes and stuff like that. Guess what happened? You get a guy who's just pushing the pocket and so on. The quarterback can't go nowhere. He's holding. Eventually, he's trying to step up, and you get a sack.
Right.
Or it's a blown play. It's not just let me blow this guy over, knock him on the ground, and get a sack. It's not, hey, I beat him with this move. I guarantee you, between the defensive line, if you say what you do to get that sack, what you see to get that TFL, they can't tell you. They won't be able to say, hey, you know what, this guy released, this guy arc released, and this guy went down, and so on. So I was thinking trap. I saw the trapper coming, and you know what, I decided not to wrong arm it, but to blow it up in the backfield. He won't be able to say that to you. He won't be able to say, hey, well, what you do? I hit him with a chop club swim, and then he can't tell you that.
Well, even more so, Jimmy, the thing is that you could pass on in studying your opponent for the next week. All right, that and combine that with the technique. It's a thinking man's game. There's a physicality to it, obviously, in that position you're in, but it's a thinking man's game. And when you know how to view your opponent, analyze them, and then refine those techniques to it, man, that you're deadly. It's game over for your opponent.
Yeah, I watch some of the games. Some of the games we lose, especially defensively, we lose by just alignment alone.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, just go on the inside shoulder to tight end. It helps you on your takeoff. But when you stay on the outside shoulder, of the tackle, and that tight end is able to hit your hip. So he's gonna push you down a little bit, and now you lose contain for a little bit. Or you rushing down the middle of the tackle.
Right.
Line up, hit that tight end, because most likely he ain't gonna block you. Hit him in the mouth, and he's going to have a hard time getting off the line of scrimmage, which is going to make the quarterback hold it just a little bit longer, and then rush, and you'll be in a better position for contain and everything else and so on. and your slower linebacker will be able to cover this tight end because he's now slightly slower because you just hit him. Like, it's like little stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just wish Big Dude. I wish Big Dude was on here tonight because he's coached all those years too. 30 years of experience. I'd love to hear his comments tonight too, but he hasn't been able to join us. My
it's his birthday. That's what it is. It's Big Dude's birthday.
No, it's yours. No, we'll keep an eye on that, but no, it's not his this week.
He took the night off because it's his birthday. I see you, Big Dude.
Well, I'm sure you had something come up, being a school administrator, but it's my 2 cents with Saquon, for what little that is worth. Today it's amazing the type of guaranteed money some of these guys are getting, 20 million guaranteed, stuff like that, and he's one player an injury away from that never having that opportunity ever again. I personally would not blame him if he didn't play the bowl game and sat it out, went in the draft, and took care of his family and his personal affairs first, put that foremost in his life. And I would not hold that against him in any way, shape, or form, because you only have that one opportunity, and it's such a rare opportunity like that. So just my perspective is, family, team, and of course now for me, being the veteran, I would say God core country, God country core, or in a mix of that together there. But God country core, God core country. But they tell you to put the country first. But I love my brothers in the Marine Corps too. But you have to structure those priorities in your life, and I think for him, him and his family would come first. Then his teammates and so forth from there. So, these are value judgments that are hard decisions for him to make. And I'd hope he'd ask God for wisdom and he would know what to be able to do. And if he stays, I trust that he's kept healthy and can prosper. And if he goes, I trust the same. So, but that's a hard decision to make. I couldn't imagine being in the shoes he's in, but he's in a good position either way.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, Skip. I think where I would object is just for him not playing a bowl game. And the reason why I'll do that is because here's what my thing is. As parents, as football fans, as a player, we only get one chance to be kids. We only get one chance to be college players. We only get one chance to leave our mark. I understand. I think what happens the difference between college and the pro is literally the money. So what happens for me is you get guys, when you go to the pro level, they play hard and everything else and so on, because guess what? It's a contract year. They're up. He's going to do this and so on and so on. It's a contract year. He does this. They cruise through 2 years or so on, and then year 3, because they know it's an option or something, year 4, they play harder and everything else and so on. Well, for me, I always had a hard time when I was a pro because I came from Penn State. It was always just about winning. Like I spoke earlier in the year, the hardest thing that they do, the hardest thing that happens as a big guy is from the time you play Pee-wee football, they try to get all big guys, run, sideline to sideline, run. Team players, run, team players. Go to Penn State, same thing, run, let's play. Team players, swarm is the defense, everything else, run, let's play team defense and so on, team so on. As soon as you turn pro, it's about just you. It's few teams that play team defense. But mostly, only thing they say is this. They don't talk about playing team defense. They talk about you doing your job. Do your job. If everyone do their job, we are playing team defense. But do your job. If a guy get hurt, it's still next man up and do your job. Because it's an individual, it's just showing you that you're replaceable and so on. So what happens is, it doesn't become about the team. It doesn't become about that. It's strictly about the money. What can I do to fit in? What can I do to plug in? And so on and so on. So I like the fact that in a bowl game, why wouldn't Saquon play? Because here's what my thing is. we came in together. Like, you know, when I came on our visit, I had Larry Johnson Jr. and Spice, you know, Anthony Adams saying, come on, man. I know you big time, bro, but you got to come here to Penn State with us. Come on, man. Come with us, man. Come back. Come on, you got to sign with Penn State. You know, I had Eric McCool saying, man, come on, bro. I might have to do this. I'm coming out of Penn State. You going to come? Come on, we right up the street, you know, New York, New Jersey, right there. Let's go. Let's come down here. I think I'm going to come down here. You know, so it's like when I came in, it was like, man, you know, Big Gus from Berg, you know, he was like, man, I'm from Berg. You know, we win championships. I'm trying to come here and win a championship and everything else. So I need you to come down here with me. You know, I mean, I know you're saying you playing defense, but you could be an offensive guard right next to me. You know, laughing and joking and, you know, but so what happened was I made my decision. You know, I put God in my decision. Of course, he led me, but those guys played a part. So can you imagine me being the first rounder, being projected top 10, top 15, not playing in the bowl game? Not playing in, because I'm going to get guaranteed money or someone with all these guys that committed, okay, Anthony, I'm better than you because I'm going in the top 10. I'm going in the top 15. Okay, you know, Larry, I'm better than you because I'm going in the top 15. Like, what's the situation? You know, it's still about finishing what you started with your guys. And Saquon seemed like that kind of guy. And I understand take care of your family and everything else and so on, but understand what I'm saying. There's been guys who've been drafted in the second round, third round, and so on, who still made a name and still got paid. You know what I'm saying? And still got paid. There's been guys who've been injured and so on who got an opportunity and still got paid. I mean, think about this. We could talk about Derek Waite when he was at Penn State and so on. I watched the game, the Monday night game the other day, and it was like he mentioned some high school or another school and so on. And every time I watched the game, he never talked about the fact that he went to Penn State. You know, so when I stopped and I looked, I was like, all right, hold up. If we could get you to focus the way you are focused right now, when you was in school, you would have been a first-round draft pick. But instead, you made it hard on yourself. You had to go to, you know, Canada, play over there, and make a name for yourself and everything else. Learn how to perfect your technique and everything else. You can't say it was talent-wise. You had Coach Johnson, so on, to help you in certain areas. I know you played linebacker, but it wasn't like you was lacking something. I mean, we was calling you the next LeVar Arrington when he left. You know, so then guess what? He still went to Canada and made a name for himself, and now he still paid twice the amount of what he would have got if he would have been a first rounder if he would have came out, you know, because he came, made Pro Bowls and so on and so on. So what we have to trust is God already set our path for us.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Saquon's going to do what he has to do. I just think he needs to play these games and still go out there and show, because that's when you start playing strictly for the money and strictly for your family and so on, not because your heart and the love for the game, you'll hate the game and you won't play well.
Yeah, no, I understand that, Jimmy. I mean, I agree. It's about the love of the game, and that takes a special type of athlete too. And you know, like I said, you know, he's going to have to ask for some wisdom and ask Lord to give him some wisdom. And I hope he's given that he knows what he needs to do, because it's not an easy decision to make, for sure. You know, yeah, sure, I'd love to see him stay, but you know, everybody would. But I'm not going to fault the man if he doesn't. You know, because that's a hard choice to make.
Yeah, I definitely won't follow him if he leaves, but I would love to see him stay.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. And yeah, there's so many other things I'd love to see happen here, and we'll have to talk a little bit more about that. Hey, quick comment I wanted to make here about this past weekend with the recognition for the veterans and things like that. I'd like to say good job, Penn State, but unfortunately I can't. You know, Walmart gave close to $50,000 in food and plus personnel. They had their people come and volunteers come serve the veterans. My hat's off to over 7,500 plus fans who donated their tickets. Thank you very much. But Penn State did not open up its wallet or give anything to anybody, not even a parking pass for a veteran. No, you had to pay. It disappoints me. And I actually feel like Penn State's exploiting veterans to try to get some type of accolades at everybody else's expense. You know, Penn State doesn't always sell all the games for all the sporting events they have here. And I can't understand why they can't put them into a lottery for veterans to be able to come. Or even Penn State has future military leaders here in a great ROTC program. Why can't they give that away? Because Penn State's all about the money. And it saddens me that that's the case. And I wish they would do something different about it. And I have to mention this also, too, that in Pennsylvania, the Army and Air National Guard had a program for 100% tuition for all state schools. Now, Penn State loves that have the name the Pennsylvania State University, and they want that recognition as the state university. Yet they raised their tuition to the point where that program for the veterans and the military would not work. And the students who wanted to come here to use that money to come to Penn State were not able, because Penn State's tuition was priced far too out of range that these guys would have to take, and gals would have to take excessive loans to even be able to come here. And I knew this when I was in the military, because I'd hear them talk about it, and nothing's changed about this. So, I love to see things happening for veterans, and I just wish Penn State would actually do more than try to get the accolades for the veterans at everybody else's expense. I'd really like to see them step up and start doing something for the people who make sure when you go to bed tonight that somebody's on watch, making sure that things are going to be safe for you. Or when the time comes, God forbid, we have to take, an armed response to somebody, that these are the people who are saying, you know what, I took an oath or an affirmation to defend the Constitution to protect you. Penn State needs to step up and do more here than just hold out its hand. And in fact, they need to take what they have and start giving something back. So, that's my 2 cents worth about that here, but we got to take this quick commercial break here, folks. You're listening to the Lions Live on the Forever Lions Network. We'll be right back here after this brief message.
I've had psoriasis since 2010. And after meeting other people living with the disease and listening to their experiences, I wanted to write about hope, because hope is what we all need.
To learn more and listen to her new song, visit seemetoknow.com. Cindy is a spokesperson for Novartis Pharmaceuticals.
At 106.3 FM and 970 AM.
WBLF Bellefonte State College. 2292 Easy. Altoona Bellefonte State College.
Local news, sports, and weather. WBLF. Depend on it.
And we're back here to Lions Live, folks, on the Forever Lions Network. We're listening to the Grizz, Jimmy Kennedy. It's a birthday today, folks, so find him on Facebook and make sure you send him a wish. Yakov Israel, my name's Skip Drawas. The big dude hasn't joined us yet here tonight, but I
Hey, Skip.
Yes.
The woman talking.
Oh, there we go. Got that. Had to get that button off there. I had to get that turned off, but still it's coming through on the board, so apologize about that. Thanks for telling me, Jimmy. But that's good. Yeah, that's volume's down for her, and that's off, so we're good. I'm still learning the ropes, folks. We're live here. We're not a podcast. we're not pre-recorded. This doesn't get edited. You get to see me making all my mistakes here, trying to make this all happen. And I tried to time it out here, right? Because everything's down to the second for these things that kind of have to blend in here in the radio, and we have that legal station ID break. So if you heard a little bit of a commercial there, a PSA, that kind of came along when you get a little added bonus tonight, right? So anyway, we're talking some Penn State football here. We've covered a lot. We gave a little recap of our game here, and we talked about Saquon and whether he's going to stay or go in the draft. Talked a little bit about bowls, but we're going to have some picks and things. And I was wondering if there's any other topic you guys wanted to pick up on here yet tonight before we get into our picks.
Oh, tell us about what delayed you this week.
Okay. This is good. All right, Big Dude and Pete Kirkendall and I, we're all we all got in there, got up to the lounge, got everybody signed in and everything. So we got everybody stamped, and we're all making our way down there to get on the field. Right now, the fans don't understand this, but as former players, we have an ID pass, and it gets us access to the field for the home games. And anytime we'd come up there to that gate where the tunnel is, that's kind of where we, the entrance to the field. And anytime we'd normally come up, and this is over the past 30 years we've been doing this, we would, simply show our credentials, and they'd open the gate there and let us go on through. And we get up there, and this is before the team started to come through the tunnel and stuff. They closed it all off, and I get up there to the gate, and I said, hey, we need to get down. We need to get down here in the field. And this guy goes like, nobody's getting through. I said, no, we're not trying to get through. We're trying to get on the field. And he says, nobody's coming through after the team comes through. I'm like, and I stood there and well, the team's not coming. They're not anywhere to be found. And a few minutes go by, and I'm like, I was like, sir, I go to him, I said, sir, where's your supervisor? And he goes, well, he's on the field. And I said, well, I said, could I get his name? No, you can't get his name. And I said, well, what's your name? And he's like, I'm not telling you my name. He kind of put his hand up, like, talk to the hand type of thing. I had a real bad attitude. I was like, I was polite, professional, and all the ways things that Joe taught us to be, respectful and everything. And, finally the team eventually makes its way through, but it still took a little while. And eventually they opened it up, and we eventually made our way down there, and we get on the field. We all but missed I missed the flyover. I really wanted to watch the flyover because I had the F-18 Hornets out there, and I wanted to catch that on my 3D 360-degree camera and video to get.
Oh, okay, nice little plug, nice little camera plug. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's made by what is it? Something Fly, whatever. It's a really cool camera. It's like a little, almost the size of a golf ball or baseball, almost a little smaller, and it shoots in 360 4K video, high dev. I was like, man, that's cool. I wanted to get it with the jets flying over and all that stuff. Well, I missed all that, but and I thought, well, something's not right here. So. Especially when this guy's talking and acting, and I need to back up a little bit because as he opened the gates on it through, I grabbed my camera quick and I took a quick picture of him because I wanted to know who he was, because I figured, well, this guy, somebody's got to let him know that this has not been a protocol for the past 30 years. When Letterman come back through it, we're always let to go through, and of course, out of everybody, we're going to know that if the team's coming through anything like that, we get out of the way. In fact, we've actually been out there in the tunnels. You remember that? You could be out in the tunnels and the team even comes through. So this isn't really a non-issue to this. So the only way to have anything correct about it is to fight. So I pulled up my camera, and as I was walking through there, I snapped a picture of him, and the guy started F-bombing me. Wow. And I was like, that's why I was like, wow, this guy's really, and I didn't realize this until I looked at the picture. And somebody, and well, for then Stefan goes to him. Stefan's big dude goes. He goes, kind of holds his finger up. Language, and the guy, and I guess the guy was, starting to threaten me and stuff. I was walking away. I was like, look, dude, I don't have time to waste you, man. I'm trying to get on the field, And I was walking, but I guess, big dude said language. I was like, I just, surprised that in public somebody would be, who's working there would be acting like it. When I went back and looked at the guy's picture, his eyes are glazed, bloodshot. I thought, man, maybe this guy's drinking or something, who knows? But anyway, I did turn it over. I mentioned it to the one person that was secured, and I also mentioned it to Wally. And hopefully, I wasn't asked to try to get anybody in trouble. I said, it's an issue of training here. One, first of all, I said you never talk to like that in public, and two, you need to kind of realize that. If people have the right credentials, you should let them through. So that's all I was trying to make sure that other guys, when they come through in games in the future, that they don't get that type of hassle. That's why we were a little bit late getting on the sidelines and missed some of that stuff. But wow, so that was the story behind that. Yeah, a little bit of drama made for a little bit of a chuckle and a laugh, but still, I think they'll fix the problem. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
It's
sorry you had to go through that.
Well, but you know what? It's okay. Look, I spent 4 years as a police officer in the Marine Corps. I know it is to deal with some people who have issues and things going on, and do all that type of work that you do. Running a radar and traffic stops and taking guys to jail and all the craziness, right? And I know it's a thankless job. Listen, I God bless the people out there who are willing to come up here and do that type of work at the games. I applaud you, because it takes a special person to be able to work that type of a job, and I appreciate everybody there, and every year I thank the people who do it, because they do a great job of it, and I appreciate all their hard work and thank them for it, because and I know it can be stressful at times. You get a lot of people coming through, and everybody wants to do their own thing, and you're trying to control some masses of people here, so it's not an easy job. So I'm not in any way. I appreciate the work they do out there too. So I want to get that mentioned as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that was our little story there about that. So big, but big dude will probably tell you, he got a little chuck on it too. So
So where we stand at for the pick?
Wow. Well, let's get us an overall. What we're looking at here, guys, is the big dude's on top of all this so far. He's at 66-17 for the year. And Jimmy, you're at a solid number 2 at 63-20. Yakov, you're Yakov's one off at 62-21, and I'm bringing up the rear at 60.
Oh!
So.
Hey, Greg. Hey, you can't hold that. You can't hold that tune too long because I'm like,
I'm holding that, man. Hey, come on, you see, oh yeah, that number 2 spot has been weak. Everybody's been knocking that number 2 spot off.
We were all tied last week, but I blew it bad with my picks.
Not this time.
Yeah, that was.
Hey, Lovey's gonna make or break it. I think you're gonna have to make a call on Lovey. I think you're gonna have to make a call on Lovey, but.
Well,
let's see.
Everybody's gonna have to gamble a little bit here. We only had a couple weeks left in this, so
yeah.
I blew it bad last week. I picked those upsets. I really had thought that Iowa, the way they were playing, would beat Wisconsin, and all three of you guys picked Wisconsin, so I gambled a bit. And I actually predicted Purdue over Northwestern, and I was wrong. You guys all picked Northwestern, and
hey, remember I picked Purdue at first. Remember?
You did. Somebody spared you that. And again, I was hoping Michigan State would, again, the way things have been playing, I thought they would beat Ohio State. So
not in the shoe.
Yeah, it seemed like that to be the case. They only held us 48-3 too. They killed them. So
yeah,
it was a really kind of weird program, there with that one. And of course, Indiana naturally beat Illinois.
Yeah,
even Yakov did that one. So
he can't love Lovey too much longer.
Yeah.
I had to wisen up a little bit.
Sure. Hey, well, we just got the message here from the big dude. He's at a military night here, a military event with a sporting event with the school and stuff. So, big dude, we love you. You're gonna have to get your picks into us. We won't let you go like Yakov and let you get off on the following week, giving us your picks.
Yeah, we can't do that after the game. No, we can't do that.
Yeah, we got to get it in before the game, man. He can't be.
Big dude. Remember though, you gotta give me something because I was on the line for over an hour. I was on the line for over.
That don't count. That don't have nothing to do with picks.
I think you guys did the picks at like 8:45 that night. I think
that don't have nothing to do with picks. Hey, listen.
Yeah, but you could have
all of a sudden.
You had Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning to get your picks.
Yeah, not Wednesday the following week.
Okay.
And hey, and now also.
You just gotta play me out.
Hey, Yak, I'm telling you, Yak, I sent another reminder by text a Saturday morning. So there.
Hold on, he don't really respond to the group text.
Wait, you know what?
His name is never pop up.
I don't get those.
You don't?
I'm not getting that. If somebody called me today and said, "So, did you get my group text from yesterday?" And I said, "No." And they said, "Oh, I thought something was wrong with you." So yeah, I didn't get those. I haven't been getting those at all.
We let you pick, bro. You don't have to throw a little extra in there.
Well, hey,
come on, man.
Right.
Hey, you just trying to, you just know that I'm right there with you, man. So you trying to, drop me out. I know, man.
But listen, though, you're only right there because Skip let you pick last week. After.
I was on the phone for an hour.
Every time Skip told you a game,
Big dude wasn't even on the phone.
Mute button, and listen, this is you, Jacob. Every time Skip called the game out, you hit the mute button and go, Alexa.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Alexa, what's the score between Nebraska and Alexa?
Come on.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Oh, you, bro.
Look at you.
We need to get the cameras. We need to get the cameras where you're at your location so we can see it, Yeah.
Hey, I was in the studio. Grizz, where you at? I was in the studio with Skip.
I'm talking about when it was time to get your picks in, bro.
I thought you were talking about something else. Okay, my bad.
Hey, all right, Yakov, here's the deal, man. You got to text me your number, and I'll make sure you get in that group text. So we won't let that happen again.
Yeah.
About it, Jimmy. That won't happen again. We'll make sure he's getting
it. It won't happen again.
That's
right. No, really, though. Sometimes I don't get the group text, and sometimes
now it's just part of the time thing. Okay.
That was just something. I think, you know what I think it is, though, really? I think if it comes from the iPhone, I get it. I think.
Oh, you trying to call you out of Detroit?
I don't know because
Man, maybe it's Verizon's fault, right? Verizon or AT&T.
Look, Skip, next time we're together, we'll do it the way you do it, and then we'll look at it.
Okay, buddy. No, that sounds good. Yeah. No, hey, I look forward to it. Let me know next time you come to State College, man. We'll get out. We'll get you.
Yeah, let's get these picks in, so I don't keep getting these there.
Oh, you got to get Jimmy. Hey, it's Jimmy's birthday. We got to get him out. Get him out there with his wife for dinner here quick. So we'll get through this. All right. And these aren't going to be hard. I don't think so. Rutgers at Indiana.
So we're going to rough you up on your birthday, bro.
Yeah. Rutgers at Indiana.
I'm going Indiana.
Okay. Yeah, I got you there too. I'm with that.
Let me,
You're hitting mute. Go ahead and get Alexia.
Let me get my look up here real quick. Okay, let me see.
He's going to Google now.
Yeah.
Rutgers at Indiana. Now, Yakov, you've been following, the Big Ten all this year, right? Now you know what teams are in it, okay? Right?
I wanted to go with Rutgers, but being that it's at Indiana, I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
Skip, I think Skip did change his pick last week.
One of them. At the end of the show, I did.
But you know it's in the Big Ten, Skip.
I made my change. I think it was the last week at the Iowa-Wisconsin game. I think that's the last one. But I did it during the show. I didn't do it later. I did it on air.
Yeah, but see, you hit mute, though. You hit mute, and then you went on the next and got the scores. Yep.
No way. No, I picked it during the. It's on. Listen, it's on YouTube. It's archived there. You can watch it.
I'm just teasing, Skip.
I know, buddy. I know.
I'm just teasing.
Okay, so what did Google tell you? You want to get Rutgers or Indiana?
Now, Skip, you gotta give me some more credit for that.
I know, buddy. No. Listen, hey, no, I appreciate.
I coached 7 years of high school football. You know, I didn't pick plays off of Madden. Yep.
Well, no, and I was about to compliment. I was going to say, Yakov, I do appreciate how you do put some serious thought into it. I do appreciate that, man. I mean, every week you're here. You really analyze it. You try to think through it, and
Hey, I would say, Skip, I've been at least in the top. I would say 2. I think the past 2 years in a row. I mean, I don't know. I think I'm close.
Oh yeah, we're always within a game or two of it. You're always. Everybody's in the running here.
We're always pushing it for the. We push it for the win.
Yeah, our picks do better than Vegas. People could get good odds from us.
Yeah, no, they definitely make a lot of money.
Make your pick, Yakov.
I got Rutgers. Where we at?
Rutgers at Indiana.
Yeah, I got Rutgers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rutgers.
Hey, Jimmy, here's my opportunity to catch up.
Mm-hmm. Go with Rutgers.
All right. Hey, we got Minnesota at Northwestern. That's got to be a good game, too.
That's from the river game. I'm going Northwestern.
Really? Oh, okay.
I like how you just went on ahead and jumped out and went for the shot down. Didn't even have to think. I like that, Chris.
Wow.
I'm only going because I like Northwestern defense in Northwestern.
Yeah.
I like the development. I like that because early in the season I was bleeding. You know what I mean? And you jumped me a few times. I think on Northwestern maybe. I think Grizz told me I gave him a wrong pick one time. I think. So hey, I'm just trying to take the trees up. I'm trying to get back my win back, Grizz, and get on top. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you, I didn't pick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you my pick. I actually picked Minnesota because they beat Nebraska 54-21 last week. So I picked Minnesota to actually beat Northwestern.
Oh man, I got to go with Northwestern. I got to go. Okay. I got to go with my team. Only right up less than 30 minutes away growing up.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You got to get to hometown. All right, we got Michigan at Wisconsin.
That's gonna be a decent one.
I know.
Wait. No, not Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan at Wisconsin.
I thought Michigan was playing Ohio State.
No.
Or no, is that the next week? That's the next week.
Yeah, the next week.
Yeah, no, you're right, Skip. That's the next week. You're right, Skip. That was my bad.
Don't rush it. It'll come.
Yeah, Wisconsin. I was already thinking about the Big Ten. I'm like, man, wait.
Yeah, I went with Wisconsin too, Jimmy.
Yeah, I gotta go with Wisconsin. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then we have. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I do think this will be a good indication because if you just look at it on paper, Michigan is number 4 in the East. Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan State, Michigan, and then you got Wisconsin number 1 in the West. So if you want to go pound for pound, Wisconsin being number 1 and Michigan being number 4, I think this would give us a good indication of how strong the West is versus the East.
Yeah, I don't know what time kickoff is for that game. I want to.
It said 12 o'clock.
Is that at 12? Okay, so I can catch some of that. Before I'm not gonna maybe catch all of it, but I'll catch some before I head up to the stadium. That'll be a good game to watch. That's going to be. You're right, Cove. Good indicator. And then we got Purdue at Iowa.
Iowa for me.
Yeah, that's what I picked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Iowa.
Yeah, I'm actually updating this live on our website, so if people were there watching, they can actually see it on lineslive.com. See our picks literally being added as I'm typing them here. We got Illinois at now here you go, Yakov, a chance to stand out. Illinois at Ohio State.
Oh, look at Skip trying to bait me on that one.
I need to move up in the rankings, man. But you're the hometown guy. You're gonna pick your hometown boys, right?
You gave me the proactive fake. Oh man!
It's like you're telling me about Northwestern. You got to pick Northwestern. So.
Oh man! Yeah, I gotta go to Ohio State. I mean, they did slip, but I don't think they ready to slip.
Yeah,
Illinois. I go to Ohio State.
Yeah, I already put you down for Ohio State, Jimmy.
Yeah, of course.
Well, Grooves, you know, Lovey's gonna be the one that's gonna break it back this season.
Not that one.
There you go. Now this I don't think it's gonna be a hard pick either for this one. Maryland and Michigan State.
I think Michigan State.
Yeah, that's what I got too. I'm just typing in, and then we have our game coming up here, and I don't think that's a hard one to pick either. It's Nebraska Penn State.
Yeah, I'm going Penn State.
We all got Penn State on that. What's your scores?
Yeah. I got Penn State 34-10.
34-10, okay.
Yeah, I'm saying about that too. Well, actually, you know what? I go 31-13. 31-13.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I'm actually I think it's gonna be a big blowout, and I was gonna go 42-13. Yeah, I think they're going to blow them out. I mean, Nebraska's playing horrible football. Look, Minnesota destroyed them last week. I mean, it was really, really bad. I mean, I know they want to come here and think they could try to do something, but I just don't see it happening, man. I mean, Minnesota killed them 54-21. Come on, man, that's Minnesota. All right, I think it's going to be a great day for the seniors at Penn State. And we have, that's hey, Yakov, you're going to be back Sunday for the lunch?
I'm actually planning on it. I'll actually be out of town in New York, but I'm going to plan to make it Sunday.
Okay, great. Great. Yeah.
I still didn't RSVP yet, but I got it on my yes to RSVP tomorrow. So
Okay, yeah, I think that is a deadline. So yeah.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's the deadline. Yeah, you're
I
right.
hope a lot of guys can come back for it, because it's nice. And we had our board meeting Saturday, and they were asking, well, what happens if guys who maybe go on pro, are they going to come? Well, actually, they don't come out for that. It's just for the guys who are seniors to come out, and we welcome them into the Letterman Club and let them know that, hey, welcome to the family. You've always been a part of it anyway, but now you get to become one of us old guys. They're a young old guy. and they'll see us old guys, but they get to be a young old guy.
To the old club.
Yeah. And we tell them a little about what some of the benefits are and stuff, and and we're let them know that we're there for them. Well, we pay for them, actually. We pay. I got the lifetime membership and annual dues.
You get a free lunch, man. You get a free lunch, man.
Well, that's the only free lunch you're ever going to get is when you're a senior to join the Letterman Club. Because after that, if you want to come to halftime, you're going to be paying for it. But by the way, interesting thing came up in the meeting. It runs about $50 a head for anybody for that halftime meal, and the frustrating part is Penn State Catering gets the right of first refusal for that. And I thought, I know, and we've been down there, we know Glenn down there at Hogfather's, and Hogfather's, man, they put on some good food. And I know Glenn would love to put that stuff, a halftime meal together for the former players there, but they can't do that because Penn State has to make the money. And it runs $50 a head. Now it costs us $15. So the club itself, for every home game, is actually losing money for the people who actually get the halftime meal, and they have to try to guesstimate how many people are coming and schedule all that and budget all that. So it's not an easy undertaking for Wally and Angie there to try to put all that together. And I really appreciate the work they do, because that's not an easy thing to do. I remember when Franny was here before Wally was here, he would try to get RSVPs and stuff like that. And, again, it's a hard thing to do because sometimes it's a last minute decision whether they come out for the game or not, or stay home on a given weekend. So it's hard to get an idea of an account of who's going to be coming for a meal. So, but those are some of the things we deal with, as members, and we're trying to work through and see if there's ways to work around and do different things like that. I know we've always talked about, I thought it'd be nice to be able to have some type of fountain for soda and drinks and things there. But again, Penn State, it's like I mentioned about the veterans, Penn State's got to hold its hand. Because again, we have guys who work for Pepsi and Coke and different places who can get, and we'd even buy the things and get them donated, but it's always about the money at Penn State, man, and kind of like to see some changes.
Yeah, now what, Skip, who are did all the officers come?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, yeah. Brad Scoville's the president, and there's the officers are there, and we had a small turnout, and got things. The board went through, and things went through the agenda pretty quickly with what was happening, and there's going to be things coming up this summer. We're trying, everybody's trying to get people together to do more things, and So it's a great organization, and I wished we could find better ways to see if Penn State could open up its wallet or not be as tight, and let us try to be able to do more. Because again, it seems like it's always about the money with Penn State. Even though the football program has brought in billions of dollars, Penn State's still about wanting to get it's money even out of us guys who've already been here. And I'd like to just see some things change. Even the lounge itself was an afterthought. It's not like they built it with the idea of, hey, we're going to make something here for the former players. It's kind of like, oh, we got the space. Well, let's do this. I'd like to really see, hopefully, a new stadium with a view to the field, a nice, really a lounge twice the size of this one with the whole view to the field, taking up that whole sideline, like with a layer, kind of like they have at the Miami Stadium, I think they have that the whole way around between the two layers of the fans, kind of sandwiched in the middle like an Oreo. That Oreo section is a glassed-in thing going around the whole stadium. It'd be kind of cool to see something like that where we could have a section for Letterman and guys to be able to come back and what a great recruiting tool that'd be too. But it's Penn State probably wouldn't want that because they figure they could sell that and make more money instead of allowing to get something for the guys. So, we need to get some good people in leadership. My vote's for Jimmy Kennedy to be president of Penn State. Or you, Cove. You could be vice president. Let bring the big dude in here. He could be a good administrator too.
I like to see the Grizz in the tie on. I like to see that, Grizz. I like to see that.
Yeah.
One day.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
like to see it.
We need to get more of our own people to start looking out for the family. Because.
Now, is there a cycle on that? Like, is it like for new people to come join, or?
Yeah, there is. The first year, the guys, they're members for free, and then you have an option of paying an annual membership dues, or they have a lifetime membership. You pay more money, you can become a lifetime member.
Okay.
And I tell the guys, and my advice is, it's expensive. Bite the bullet, get the lifetime, and it's all good. And you don't have to worry about every year remembering to pay your dues and stuff like that. Because you guys got the email that came out. I'm already calling for dues again for next year. If you're watching email, it already came out. They're already looking for that. So, and also, hey, it just came out too in the news. Ticket prices and everything is going up again next year at Penn State for season ticket holders. So, it just makes me wonder. We went through this before. Penn State priced itself out, and they're wondering why ticket sales are down and stuff like that. We got a great coach in here, and he's helping fill the stands, but there's got to be a balance here between customer appreciation and loyalty and value. So you can't be pricing yourself out of and getting people who've been loyal fans to say, hey, I can't afford to do this anymore. And they got to remember that a lot of these people out there who buy these tickets, they're not all multimillionaires. They're just people who love Penn State football, and they're the people I love, and I thank them all for all they do because they truly are the best fans in the country. Especially, again, much thanks to the ones who donate those tickets like they did this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's kind of an update of some things there without trying to divulge too much, but and again, I'm giving my commentary on it. I'm not speaking as an authority or anything like that. I'm just a member, and I gave my perspective on things that I personally like to see. That I can't speak for the group or any other individuals. So again, but I want to give that disclaimer there because I don't want to think anybody that I'm speaking for the group or anything like that. But you'll have to come out next time, Jacob. I know you've been out there before for meetings, and
now, Skip, as far as the officers go, do they have a cycle too?
Well, yeah, and I forget how long each person is elected into the position, and I'm not sure how that continually goes. I've been trying to go over the past, 6-7 years or so. Or more. I've been more consistent going because you have these board meetings at 8:00 on a Saturday of a homecoming. Or it'll be like 4 hours before kickoff for the spring game. So that'll be the next one. So you're always getting it's business. It's not it's great to see everybody and it's a nice time, but it's a business affair. So but it'll be hey, it's a great group of guys and they're all part of our family, and the purpose of it is to look out for everybody else in the family, try to make good things happen here for the Letterman. So we all need to do our part and try to contribute in whatever ways we can, try to make it better and advocate for our family. So Jimmy's got yeah, sure. Well, I know Jimmy's got to get going. His wife's going to kill him here. So happy birthday again, Jimmy. We'll let you get rolling, buddy. And
I appreciate it. Yeah, same you, good. Happy birthday.
Yeah, Lord bless you. Lord keep you, make His face shine upon you, brother, and get you healthy. So we get you back here for the spring. Yes, sir. All right. Well, get going to your dinner, Jimmy. And on behalf of Jimmy Kennedy and Jacob Israel, my name's Skip Roberts. You missed the big dude. We'll catch you all in here next week on Lions Live. Thanks for joining us. We'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. Great job, guys. We'll see you here next week. Lord bless.
World's #1 selling tractor, Warranty. Mahindra believes so strongly in the quality of their equipment that they back them with the industry's best warranty, up to 7 years of powertrain coverage at no extra charge. You won't find that with the other guys. So you've got the world's best-selling tractor with quality backed by the industry's best warranty. What else, you ask? How about the best financing programs with 0 down, 0% interest for 84 months available to qualified buyers? The folks at Weldon Equipment would love to show you how affordable your Dream Mahindra tractor package can be. That's why Weldon Equipment in Julienne has been voted the area's best tractor dealer for the second year in a row and voted #1 in customer service. Why wouldn't you pick the best tractor with the best warranty and financing from the area's best dealer? Weldon Equipment, your tractor headquarters in Julienne. On the web at weldonequipment.com.